Hi there, welcome back to another video. So for today, we will be unboxing and doing a quick review on this Airsee EH3 drill. I'm really excited to test this out because in terms of what is being advertised on what this drill can do, it will be a slight upgrade from the drill that I'm using now. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the unboxing so I can share with you all my thoughts. So when you first open the box, the drill is sitting at the top layer, and this drill is actually rechargeable. You can use it cordless. It goes up to 35,000 RPMs, and it also has an LED screen so you can see what RPM you're on. It has some buttons, and it also has a locking mechanism for your drill bits. One thing I will say is when I picked this up, I did like the weight of it. It wasn't super heavy, but it didn't feel super lightweight so that it felt flimsy. I have carpal tunnel, so anything that's super heavy and uncomfortable that I'm holding for a period of time can irritate my wrists. So this worked really well for me. Once we remove the top half of the box and the bottom, there are three things here for you. Well, four. Actually, there's four. So starting off here, you do have some sanding bands. There's about 50 in here, which I think is great. Put them in your drawer, grab them if you need them type of situation. Then you also have your cord that is going to charge the drill, and this is your typical USB-C to USB. Next, we have 6 different drill bits, and they come in this case, which I think is nice because I always just have my drill bits in some random case, but to have them consolidated in one is great. And then last but not least, we do have the user guide, which is going to tell you the do's and don'ts and give you instructions. So first we're going to take a closer look at the sanding bands and some of the drill bits that came in the set. So let's go ahead and open up these sanding bands, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see them up close. But these are actually zebra sanding bands, which is supposed to help with like not getting the product stuck into the sanding bands. So there you go, just typical sanding bands. And then here are our 6 bits up close, and I'm gonna go through each and every one of them. So from left to right here, you have your mandrel bit. Then we have a small barrel bit, a needle head, a cone bit, a large barrel bit, and then last but not least, our ball bit. So I have them listed out here just in case I move too fast, but here are all the bits that come in this container. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more so we can see the texture of the bits up close. So now we're going to move on and take a look at the drill and some of its features a little bit more because I did kind of zoom past that earlier and it deserves its own time. So here is the drill. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a very comfortable weight. It's not super heavy, but it's not lightweight to where it feels very flimsy. It feels like you're holding a pin that's a little bit more weighted, but it is very comfortable. And I do like that it has a matte surface and it's not shiny so that your hands aren't slipping all over the place if you don't use gloves, which you should be using gloves. But in case you don't, and I'm sitting here and I'm kind of shaking it and I don't feel like I hear any rattling. And I know that sounds crazy, but I do check for that because there is electronic components obviously on the inside and we want to make sure they're nice and secure and not about to blow up on me. So I know that may sound like, why are you doing that? But that is important because I have had that happen before with another brand. So starting off with the first feature, I do like that it has this locking mechanism for your drill bits. And if you are a beginner with doing your nails at home, this is very important because you want to make sure that you're not pushing your drill bits too far into the drill where you damage it. And this prevents you from doing it. And you can also make sure that it's nice and secure because you will hear it actually click into place. Right now, this is like it's not a placebo bit, but it's like, what would be I don't even know the correct term right now, but basically it's just something that holds it in place. You would remove this piece and then put your bit in. And you can see that here, and it tells you like, this way is lock, this way is unlock. This is pretty standard on higher end brand drills, I will say, but on the drill that I use right now, that's not there. So that is nice to have. So this drill actually does have an LED screen and it'll tell you the RPM you're on. It'll tell you how much battery life you have left and if your drill is going forward or reverse. It also has a button so you can turn it on. You can also increase the speed, plus minus the typical standard things. And then when we turn the drill to the other side, the charging port is here. And like I mentioned earlier, this is just a typical USB-C to USB cord that it uses. But if I'm being honest, the cord is kind of short. So if you need a longer one, you probably already have one of these in your house. But the other thing is the piece that plugs directly into the wall is not included in the box. So if you don't have this in your house, you are going to have to buy that separately. So now let's go ahead and turn on the drill. It actually did come out of the box charged, so I didn't have to charge it up. And so as we turn it on here, you can see it starts flashing at the RPM that it's on. Straight out of the box, it's at 35,000 RPMs. And I can tell you that if you are just doing Gel X at home, you don't need the drill to be at 35,000 RPMs. So let's keep that in mind. But to turn it on, you would hold it for about 3 seconds, and then the LED screen starts blinking and it tells you what the RPM is at. This also has a memory function. So whatever RPM you leave it at, once you turn it off, it's going to be at that same RPM when you turn it back on. So it's going to flash, so you can select your RPM. Once you do, you press the power button and it's going to stop flashing, so you know that it's going to start spinning, and now it's going to turn on. What I'm going to do here is be quiet so you can hear how loud it is. So I'm going to pull out my old drill that I've been using since I've started doing my nails at home, and I'm going to compare the sound, and I'm going to turn it all the way up to give it a fair chance. I'm also going to play with the buttons a little bit to make sure that it effortlessly goes down in RPMs, and I'm going to go all the way down to 0. As you can see, it goes down pretty fast, so I'm not sitting here clicking forever. And then I'm going to actually turn it back up to see if it can go back up easily, and it does. I know that test may seem like a little weird, but sometimes things will say that it can switch speeds fairly quickly and it takes a minute to adjust. This one did it very seamlessly, so +1 points again. Okay, so that is it for like the review of the, bells and whistles of the drill. I'm actually going to do a quick demo of me using the drill, and I'm going to remove the polish from this nail. I currently have on Gel X, and I want to make sure that it can remove polish effortlessly because, to be honest, what I use my drill for at home is basically removing my Gel X and then doing a little bit of cuticle work. I want to make sure that if I'm going to add this into my DIY routine, that it actually does what I need it to do. So let's go ahead and get started by removing the polish. And just to be clear here, I do have my typical layers of polish. I have 2 base layers. I have 1 layer of a chrome polish and then a top coat on here. So I'm actually going to grab this mandrel bit, and first I'm going to unlock the drill so we can take out that, we're going to call it a placebo bit, and then I'm going to place in my other bit. Once I have my mandrel bit in here, I am going to go ahead and lock it into place. And then I'm going to grab one of these zebra sanding bands that actually came in the box, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn the drill on, and I'm going to start off by using 8,000 RPM. Just to see how good that is, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and then begin filing everything down, moving in up and down motions fairly slowly so I can give it a fair chance. So this is at 8,000 RPMs. You can see that it did cut through, the top layer of the polish, but I'm actually going to turn it up a little bit more to what I would normally use, which is actually about 11,000 RPMs to cut through some of this polish and get it off quicker. So all the polish is removed. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off now. And since I'm done with it, I am going to put my bits back in that case and then put that, what we're calling the placebo bit, back into the drill so that it's not going to get damaged when it's sitting in my desk. So because this is a rechargeable drill, after each use, I recommend just going ahead and charging it so that when you go to use it the next time, it actually has its full battery. And as it's charging, you can see here that the battery icon does blink, and and to let you know that it's charging. And then once it's done, it's going to stop blinking. So to give my final thoughts on this drill, I do like it, and I feel like it's definitely an upgrade from what I am currently using. And I do think this is a great beginner-friendly drill because of some of the features that it has. So first thing, like I mentioned earlier, which is very important, especially as a beginner, is having that locking mechanism for your drill bits. Because if I'm being honest here, my first drill, I would actually press the bits too far into the drill. It could have damaged my drill. So this is nice and it prevents you from doing that. The next feature of having the screen is also very important when you're a beginner, because the one I have now is just a dial. You cannot even see what the RPM is, which is honestly probably a recipe for disaster, because if you go too high, you can really damage everything. The next thing is it's also rechargeable, so it's not a cord in the way when you go to do your nails like the one that I have previously. Another minimal thing I like about this is that it has a matte finish. So when you're holding it in your hands aren't slipping and sliding, and you're able to get in a comfortable position so that you can use the drill safely and efficiently. My previous drill has more of a shiny finish, and sometimes my hands would slip and slide a little bit. So overall, I will say that I do like this drill, and I do think it's an upgrade from the drill that I was previously using. So be sure to look out for this in more of my videos, because I will be using this going forward. And of course, for the most important part, at the time of filming this video, this drill is only $33. As I'm on Amazon right now, they are offering 10% off on this. So make sure you click the little checkbox. And there we have it. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up or leave a comment down below if you have any questions or thoughts, and I will be seeing you in this video here.